Hi guys, and thanks for clicking on the video. I would just like to take 1 minute of your time before the video does start to bring to your attention the channel Patreon. If you are interested anyway, if you can't, it doesn't matter. I appreciate your support nevertheless. I would just like to bring it to your attention because, as you guys may or may not know, YouTube doesn't pay their YouTubers particularly well. And the bigger YouTubers, like the really big YouTubers, they are surviving now on brand deals and sponsorships which aren't really available to smaller YouTubers such as myself. And keeping this channel running, it is at a cost. So if you do manage to go on the Patreon and you do want to, and you can of course, it'd be massively appreciated if you do subscribe to the Patreon for as little as $1 a month, which is the equivalent to around 80p. In return, I will put your name in every single video description of every video going forward, just to show me appreciation. It doesn't only help the channel financially, but I feel it sometimes gives me the moral support I feel that I sometimes need, because I put so much time and effort into this channel and I do love doing it, but I get very, very little reward in return, which of course isn't your problem. It isn't, but if you would like to help out, then it is massively, massively appreciated. But anyway, I'll let you go and enjoy the video. Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing my sort of top 5 transfer targets that I believe that Sunderland should be looking at. Now, I have mentioned these players across social media, but I haven't really spoke about them in depth on the channel, and every single one of these players are a free agent as well, so we don't really have the excuse of they would cost too much, this, that and the other. Although in saying that, of course, wages and agent fees will probably rise because they are free agents, but nevertheless, we wouldn't have to pay anywhere near as much as we would have to if they weren't free agents. So we'll get into it, and then I'll give my reasons behind why I think each of these players would suit what we need in the club right now, or in the team right now, in the squad. So we'll start off with number 1, and that is Scott Fraser, who is currently at Burton Albion. Now, Scott Fraser is a central midfielder who's a player who I think we would absolutely, or we absolutely desperately need, because we need a creative midfielder, and he is that in abundance. This man, he got, I think it was 9 goals last season in all competitions. He scored 7 the season before, but he isn't an out-and-out goal scorer. But what he is a creative midfielder who gets assists as well. I'm pretty sure he got double figures as well last season in terms of assists. He's the player that I thought Max Power was going to be originally, but for me, of course, I've mentioned it before, he's not really been as good as I would have liked him to be, Max Power. Now, Scott Fraser is just someone who, when he picks up the ball, he immediately looks for that forward pass, and usually it's pinpoint and it's perfect. Of course, it's not going to be every single time, but usually he picks out the right passes, and there's too many players in the centre of our midfield who the similarity is ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? Like for Dobson, Power, Leadbitter, they're very, very similar. Now, if we had Scowen in there, who for me, he'll actually do the dirty work. He gets up and down the field. He's not a goal scorer necessarily, but if you put him alongside someone like Fraser, who's the man who's going to immediately look forward. You've got Scowen doing the dirty work, who's got an engine next to him, and then you've got someone like Fraser, if he was to sign for us, who can bomb forward and make those passes, because he's a very, very creative player. Like I say, he's not someone who's just going to immediately look for the backwards pass or the sideways pass. He is such a positive player from the centre of midfield. So my number 1 there would be Scott Fraser of Burton, and again, he is a free agent. Next up, we have a player who I have mentioned quite a few times on the channel, I do believe, and in podcasts here and there, but that is none other than striker Armand Gnanduillet. He is now, of course, I've mentioned a bit earlier, all these players are free agents, so he's a free agent. He's played for Blackpool for the last 4 seasons. Last season, he got himself 18 goals for the Tangerines. He got 14 the season before. He's just a big player. I think sure he's like 6'3", 6'4", something like that. He's got a bit of pace about him, a bit of strength, and I think it's just something we've been crying out for. Don't get me wrong, when I say pace, I don't mean he's absolutely rapid, but he's a lot faster than the likes of Grigg and Wyke up top, and he can score a goal. He's so good in the air. You know, when we say we want a target man, that's what we thought we were getting in Charlie Wyke, but in reality, Charlie Wyke is 6 foot, and he's not really the best in the air. As much as I slate him, I'm not going to sit here and slate him too much because I've done it before. I'm not going to do it again. But Gnanduillet is a very good all-round package. He's at a very good age, and I think him in our side, given the correct delivery, and particularly with the way we have played, we've been complaining of that. We play a hoofing football at times. he can adapt to that, and he can get in behind as well. And I think it just gives us a bit of something different that we don't have in the squad right now. And again, he's a free agent. You can't argue with that. And I would absolutely love to see Armand Gnanduillet be in a Sunderland shirt from the beginning of next season. Now, next up is Luke Garbutt. Now, Garbutt has been at Everton since 2011, or at least he was. He'd been out on loan at places like Cheltenham, Colchester, Fulham, Wigan, Oxford and Ipswich as recently as last year, and he is a left back / left wing back. Now, for me, I think that Denver Hume is in desperate need of competition. I do really rate Denver Hume, I've made it known. I do really like him, but he desperately needs competition because otherwise he can become a bit complacent and just expect to be in the team sheet because we don't have any other left backs or left wing backs to play our system, you know, to cover him. So he's going to be under no pressure whatsoever. So we need a wing back. Now, he has been released from Everton after a very successful, or at least a slightly successful season personally, on a personal level for him, for Ipswich last season from a left wing back position. He got 6 goals in 30 appearances, which is very, very decent indeed, with a good handful of assists as well. It just, again, I think we need some competition for Denver Hume. Of course, on the right-hand side, we have Luke O'Nien, we have Conor McLaughlin, who I'm not going to get into because I really don't rate, but at least we have competition there for that position. Whereas at left wing back, we have Denver Hume, and that's as far as it goes. Don't get me wrong, is this quite an unrealistic one? A few people have told me on social media they think that's an unrealistic sort of target to have. I personally don't think so, considering that his last couple of loan spells have both been with League One sides, Oxford and Ipswich respectively, and you know, he's been very decent there, but he's not been picked up by Championship clubs. Everton have released him, so I don't think it would be too unrealistic to think that a side like us, who are hoping to go for promotion, hoping to get into the top 2, or at least playoffs minimum, I don't think it really is that much of an unrealistic thought to have. So for me, I'd love to have Luke Garbutt again, because we need competition desperately for Denver Hume on that left wing-back position. Now, next on the list would be Ben Heneghan. Now, Ben Heneghan, he's been on loan at Blackpool for the last couple of seasons, but his parent club was Sheffield United. Now, we didn't make any appearances at all for Sheffield United, although I do think he may have actually had 1 or 2 cup appearances, but other than that, over the course of 2 seasons, he very, very rarely featured for the Blades. But he did have 2 loan spells over the last 2 seasons with Blackpool, as I say, and it is a fantastic defender for this league, for League One. He has been heavily linked with Preston, so whether that will tickle his fancy a bit more, I don't know, that remains to be seen. He probably would go there if that is the case, but it is only rumoured. But it's just a player that I really think we could use, because we're currently playing a system that has 3 centre-backs, and at the minute we have Willis, we have Bailey Wright, and we have Tom Flanagan, and other than that, all we have is Brandon Taylor for cover. Now, Ben Heneghan is just a player who I think he could play on either side of Bailey Wright in the centre of that back 3, or we could actually replace Bailey Wright when he's been moved around, or he's on the bench, or we need resting, or something like that. Or if Bailey Wright, God forbid, touch wood, he don't get injured, but if he does get injured, it'd be a very, very good replacement. But for me, Ben Heneghan, I think, would easily get in there over Tom Flanagan, in my opinion. He's a big lad, 6'3", 6'4", and he's just such a dominating presence. I mean, whenever we've played Blackpool, Heneghan has been on the pitch. He's been a nightmare to get through, and he's just bossed absolutely everything. Good aerial ability, decent with his feet as well. So for me, I think it would be an absolute no-brainer if Heneghan was available for us. Now, the last man on the list is probably the most unrealistic out of the bunch, and it's a player that we have mentioned over the last couple of these videos. I like to do the videos at the beginning of each season, you know, just a handful of players that I would like to see us buy. He is a free agent, of course, like the rest of the players on this list, and it is, of course, Marcus Maddison. Now, again, like I say, it is unrealistic, and, you know, I do feel a little bit iffy about his attitude, and particularly if you follow him on social media. I mean, I don't follow him in particular, but every now and then I will come across little things that people share, and he does seem like a bit of a dodgy bloke, and his attitude has raised a few eyebrows at times as well. But you just can't deny how good the man is, how good the player is. He's played at Hull last season on loan from Peterborough. He made a handful of appearances, scored a goal or 2. Nothing massive, you know, so we didn't exactly set the world alight in the Championship, but for the previous 5 or 6 seasons at Peterborough in League One, he scored 8 goals, 13 goals, 9 goals, 12 goals, 10 goals, and then as recently as the season before, he scored 10 goals again, and he's got always in double figures, or almost in the late teens in terms of assists. So, you know, we know how good Marcus Maddison can be. Like I say, it's highly unlikely. I can't see it happening. He's probably going to ask for a massive wage, because apparently that is what the issue was at Peterborough in the first place. But if he is available, I'll be getting straight in his agent's ear, or Marcus's ear himself, straight away, because he is the man who can unlock defences. He can pop up with goals, free kicks, you know, and I think we just need that little bit more class in the final third, and I think we'd be sorted. So with these 5 signings, personally for me, I think we'd be sorted for the season with all these 5. And again, they're all free agents, because I wanted to try and rid the thoughts of, oh, well, we can't afford him. Stuart Donald's not going to spend that money. Stuart, these are all free agents, mate. I've done my research. You do yours. I don't even know what I meant by that, but you know what I mean. These are 5 very, very decent players. All players that I believe could easily just slip into our starting 11 and make an impact from the off. So we'd have to wait and see. But anyway, guys, you let me know down in the comments below who you'd like to see us sign and what you think of the players I've mentioned in this video. But if you have enjoyed, please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.